friends, welcome to another adventure with Fantastic First Grade Frogs. And I bet you can hear in the background what I'm thinking about today. Yes, we at this exact moment have 5 beautiful little baby chicks in the brooder. So we're going to go through how we got there and talk a little bit about the hatching, and then we're going to take a look at our beautiful little babies. Okay? All right. Let's keep going in this book that we started when we first set the eggs. Remember? We were reading a book called Chick Life Cycle by Elizabeth Bennet. And we had looked at how the hen is laying the eggs and in a nest and so on. But now we're going to look at chapter 3, Time to Hatch. A hen sits on her eggs until it's time for them to hatch. She keeps them nice and warm. This is called incubation. Now, we don't have a mommy hen in here. We have the incubator, which, you just read about incubation. So incubation means keeping them warm. So incubator is the thing that keeps them warm, since we don't have a mommy hen here. This is an important part of our incubation of the eggs. About day 18 that they've been in the incubator, we have to take them all out of the egg turner. So you can see me very carefully taking all the eggs out, and I'm just setting them on the carpet. You can't really see that part. Setting them very gently on the carpet there. And now I'm going to take out the egg turner because they don't need the egg turner right now. And in fact, when they start hatching, they can get stuck in the egg turner. We don't want that to happen. So we take the egg turner out of the incubator. What you can't see really well is that there's a screen over the bottom part of the incubator. So I'm setting the eggs on top of that screen. In the bottom there's still water to keep the humidity up. So I'm setting them on that screen very carefully, trying to make them not roll so that they'll be all nice and safe. And when they hatch, they'll hatch on top of that screen and they'll be safe. Now we have to put the top back on the incubator so they'll be nice and warm. We also have to get the brooder ready. So this is the brooder. It's kind of just a clear box. And I'm putting newspaper in the bottom here, spreading it out so that it keeps the brooder nice and clean. A group of young chicks is called a brood. So the young chicks are going to go in here once they hatch and they dry out in the incubator. So we have to get it all ready for them and nice and warm before they hatch. So the newspaper goes in first in the bottom. I'm getting it all lined up. And then we dump in some chips, some shavings. It's wood shavings. And we spread it all out so it'll be nice and soft for them. And then we'll put in their food and water containers here in the bottom so it's all ready for when they hatch. When a chick is ready to be born, it uses its egg tooth to break through the shell. So it's showing us up close. This lump on a chick's beak is called an egg tooth. And you can see the chick starting to come out of its egg right here in this picture. Peck, peck, peck. The chick pecks small holes around the egg. Then it uses its head to push open the shell. It says chicken eggs can be white or brown. Or in the case of ours, sort of bluish or tannish. There's all kinds of colors an egg can be. The chick keeps pecking and pushing, and at last the tired chick is out of its egg. Welcome to the world. It says it takes most chicks about 5 hours to hatch from their eggs. It does take a long time. It's not a quick thing. It's not peck peck and it's out. So this is what it looks like while the chick is pecking out. And it's a very hard process. It might go peck, 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 and then it might do nothing for a little while because it's so tired. And then it peck, 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 peck some more, and then it's so tired, so it has to rest a little while. but it pecks all the way around the top of its egg, and then it pushes to push the top of the egg off, and then of course out it tumbles just like this. So here is our first baby chick. You can see it through the window on the incubator, lying in the incubator, kind of drying off. And here is a pip. You can see the little crack in the top of the one eggshell. We'll poke it here so you can see it on the top of that egg. There's the rest of the eggs just sitting in the incubator. We have to keep the top on to keep them warm. But we took out the little baby chick and put it in the brooder all by itself. You can see it's not quite dried out yet. It's still a little bit wet, and it's staying warm under that very bright light. So all the pictures you're going to see of the brooder is going to be very bright because that light is keeping the little chicks warm. And of course, Katie wanted to see what was going on, so she came over to meet the new little chick. She was really curious about it. She wasn't sure what that thing was, but it was making a lot of noise because baby chicks, when they first come out, they peep a lot. They're calling to the other little chicks inside of their eggs and saying, "Hey, hey friends, come on out of your eggs. It's great out here." So this first little chick, by the way, its name is Little Peep. The first little chick was making a lot of noise. You can also see in this picture that it's having trouble standing up. Little chicks have to kind of figure out how to use their legs when they first come out of their eggs. And this chick is not even a few hours old, so it's still trying to figure out how to stand up. And Katie's still trying to figure out, is this my friend? What is this thing? And here you see they're meeting for the first time. And the chick and Katie are just not quite sure what to do about each other. I think they decided to be friends, though, because when the chick finally sits back down, Katie is very interested in having it play. Hey friend, hey friend. Chapter 4, Growing Up. When a chick is first born, it doesn't look so cute. It is very wet and very sticky. And this picture shows you exactly how our chicks look when they first come out of their eggs. They're wet, they're sticky, they are slimy, and they don't know how to walk very well. So they kind of tumble around, they fall over, and they peep a lot. But soon the feathers dry and become fluffy. This yellow fluff is called down. It says a group of newborn chicks is called a brood. So there's what it looks like after a little while. Now, not all chicks are yellow, as you're going to see in a few minutes. The new chick explores the world with its mother and fellow chicks. There's much to discover. It says chicks eat feed, which is a mixture of grains. It helps them grow strong. And yes, I did go to the store and I did buy chick feed so that we'd have plenty of food for our little babies to eat. The little chick gets bigger and bigger. It learns how to make a cheeping sound. This helps the chick's mother to find it. It's saying cheep cheep. Now this one is starting to get wing feathers, so it's starting to get a little bit older. It's gotten taller, it's getting wing feathers. It's getting to be a teenager chick. In a few weeks, the chick sprouts feathers and tiny red comb and wattle. In a few months, it will be all grown up. Excellent. Ha 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 ha. It says a 5-month-old female chicken is old enough to lay eggs. So it doesn't take them very long to grow up at all. And of course, here's the glossary with all those words that we read about in this book. So let's take a look at these plastic eggs. Remember, we looked at the first week and what was going on inside the egg. We found out that it doesn't start out looking like a chick at all. It's just kind of like a little dot inside the egg. But then it starts to look like a chicken. So this is day 8. And here is the inside of the egg, what we would see if we could break it open. So it's starting to look more like a chick now, isn't it? And here's day 9. And here's day 10. And here's day 11. You can see it's starting to get its wings. They're getting a little bit bigger. Here's day 12. And day 13. And this is day 14. This would be about 2 weeks after you set the eggs. After we put them in the incubator, it would look like this. So it's got feet, it's got a head, it's got a beak, it's got an eye, it's got little bitty wings. It really does sort of look like a chick. So here's the first day of the 3rd week, day 15. It's starting to get a little bit bigger. Day 16. You can see it's starting to really fill in its egg at this point. Day 17. Day 18. Day 19. Wow, it really does look like a baby chick now, doesn't it? Oops. Day 20. See that fluff on it. It's got fluff, it's got feet, it's got eyes, it's got wings. It's all ready because on day 21, that's 3 weeks from when we first set it, out comes the little chick. Now, of course, our little chicks are not plastic, and they don't exactly look like that when they first come out. But that's day 21 that they start coming out of their egg. So here's baby chick number 3. And the reason we know it's baby chick number 3 is because it's still quite wet and sticky. And it's kind of laying on the bottom of the incubator there because it's very tired from having just broken out of its eggshell. You can see it gets up every once in a while and tries to wobble around, but it's very tired and it's kind of still wet. This one's number 2. You can see it's a little drier. And it's getting around a little bit better. I'm trying to peck a little bit too. Now, is it exactly all at once? Did they all come out at the same time? Oh dear, no, they do not. Because remember, some of them can take quite a while to come out of the egg. So we're going to read Egg to Chicken, and this is a Life Cycles book. And this is by Camélia de la Bédoyère. And this is the sort of the end of the book, toward the back part where the chicken is actually hatching. So we're going to take a look at the eggs hatch. After growing for about 3 weeks, the young chicks are ready to break out of their eggs. This is called hatching. That's right. Remember, butterflies coming out of their chrysalis are emerging, but something coming out of an egg is hatching. The chick has a sharp point on the top of its beak called an egg tooth. So right when it's just being born, it has that sharp point on it so that it can chip, chip, chip at the egg with its egg tooth. So the chick uses its egg tooth to crack a hole in the shell. Right there, there's a tiny, tiny little hole right there in the shell. And then it chips a hole all around the egg. So it keeps going. It keeps pecking all the way around the top of the egg. And then it uses its body to push the shell apart. So once it's got the top of it pecked all the way around, then it can push its body until it pushes itself right out of the egg. And then we have a little baby chick out. The chick is out of its shell. The newly hatched chick cheeps loudly. Trust me, it cheeps loudly. It is very tired, and its feathers are wet. Once the feathers have dried, they become fluffy. And it says soon all the chicks have hatched out. So it does take a while. We had 1 chick come out yesterday. We had 2 more in the incubator this morning, and then we had 2 more this afternoon. So they don't all hatch at once, and we're still waiting to see if the other 8 are going to hatch. So we don't know, but we do have 5, and they did not all come out at once. Life as a chick. The hen looks after her newly hatched chicks. She keeps them warm under her wings. When they are just 2 weeks old, the chicks can leave the barn or hen house and explore outside. It says newly hatched chicks stay close to their mother. Chicks and chickens like to scratch around in the dirt looking for tasty worms or bugs to eat. Chickens do not have any teeth, so they cannot chew their food. They swallow it whole instead. Now we're feeding our little chicks some grains. It's called chick feed, and it's made out of grain. Like, remember in the Little Red Hen, she found a grain of wheat, those seeds from the wheat. And so, yes, that's kind of what they're eating. It's all kind of mashed up together, and it's called chick feed. And so that's what they will learn how to eat, and it is already in their enclosure called the brooder. And already I've seen a few of them trying to peck at it. They're still pretty young, so they don't know much about food yet. Growing and changing. The chicks grow into adults in just a few months. Glossy feathers grow in place of the soft, fluffy feathers. The chicks grow red, flashy combs on top of their heads. The combs help to keep them cool. Soon the young hens will start to lay eggs, and the cycle will begin again. Roosters have colorful feathers that grow longer combs than hens. Remember, this thing on the top of their head is called a comb. And so there they are. There's some roosters and a hen. And, of course, the baby and the, teenager chick. Now, our little friends are just starting out. They're very, very brand new. They sleep a lot. When they wake up, they cheep very, very loudly. And so we'll take a look at them for a little while and just watch and see what they do. Let's just take a look at some baby chicks, see if we can hear them and watch what they're doing. That was fun, wasn't it? We got to sneak a little peek while they were sleeping and kind of walking around. I can assure you that Katie has had a lot of fun watching the chicks too. So they have their enclosure. It's called a brooder. They have the light shining down on them to keep them warm. They have to be kept very warm in the beginning because remember, they've been under 100 degrees about in their incubator to keep them nice and warm. And so they need to be about that temperature right now to keep them nice and warm while they're still itty bitty babies. But after a little while, they'll start to get a little bit older. They won't need quite as much warmth anymore, and they'll start to wander around their brooder a lot more. They'll start to interact with each other and have little arguments over who's going to get the food. They start scratching at the chips, and they start being really fun little creatures. So chicks are going to be a lot of fun for us to watch for the next little bit. So I hope you enjoyed learning all about chicks. I'll see you next time on Fantastic First Grade Frogs. Bye!